Hey y'all, you know I love to make anything that makes a beautiful design. I've been wanting to try this for so long. Turns out it's very easy to do and the results are gorgeous no matter what you use to decorate the top. I'll show you how I make my fall garden focaccia. And at the end of the video, I'll give you some tips on what to use to decorate. There are two parts to this recipe, the easy part and the fun part. So how could you not be ready to make one for yourself? This will be something great to take to a dinner party or just to give to a friend who needs cheering up. Focaccia bread goes well with just about any meal. This is a very easy mixture. It's basically my pizza dough mixture, but we're going to add more extra virgin olive oil to the dough. It fits perfectly on my 12-inch pizza pan. All you do to start is add 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. And to that, we're just going to add a teaspoon of salt. We'll use 7 ounces of warm water. Next, we'll add 2¼ teaspoons of active dry yeast. This will be equal to 1 packet. And then we'll just add 1 teaspoon of sugar. Just like with my pizza dough, we're going to stir this up and wait for the bubbles to form, about 5 or 10 minutes. Now that we have nice bubbles in our yeast mixture, we're going to add it to the flour and the salt. I like to use a paddle attachment so the dough can come together real quickly, and then I switch to a dough hook. Next, we'll add 1/4 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Now we can switch to a dough hook. You can see how this has come together well enough that we can add the dough hook now. Now we're just going to let the dough hook do its work for about 6 to 8 minutes. Okay, I think this is long enough for the dough hook. You can see that it's smooth, a lot smoother than it was. It's really soft. Now we're going to knead it a little bit on a floured surface. We're just going to knead it just a little bit. I just want to make sure that it's all smooth. Okay, feels perfect to me. Now I'll just spray the bowl with the extra virgin olive oil spray. Now put it in upside down. Flip it back over. Have some little bit of olive oil on the top. Spray a little bit more. Now I'll just cover this in plastic wrap. We'll put it in the oven with only the light on. The oven is turned off, and we'll leave it for an hour so it can double in size. So after an hour, our dough has doubled in size. Look, it looks really good. It's perfect. It smells good too. So now we oil this pan with 1/4 cup of olive oil. This is a lot of oil, but this focaccia bread will brown up in the oven and it'll be all crispy, and this gives something for the salt to stick to, which would be great. So we take our dough out of the bowl. And then we immediately just start flattening it out. And And what we're gonna do is tear holes in it with our fingers. Because focaccia bread has these indents in it, and that's how you make that with your fingers. You just tear holes in it. Okay, let's turn this over. I'm gonna turn it over a couple times. We can coat it with the oil. So what we're gonna do is let it rise one more time. So all these holes will sort of close up a little, but then you'll just be left with all these little indentions. I'm just gonna barely cover it with plastic wrap so it has room to expand. We're gonna put it back in the oven with just the light on for 45 minutes. In the meantime, we're gonna get some of our ingredients together to decorate the top. I bought some sea salt flakes to sprinkle on top of the focaccia bread. And I was trying to remember if I had a salt dish or somewhere to put the salt to make it pretty for the video. And I just remembered that I have these. And these are my grandmother's. There's a set of 6. So I wonder if instead of a salt shaker, you would have these little dishes beside everyone's plate. Does anyone know? I don't know what that says. I'll have to get a magnifying glass. Aren't they cute? They're so pretty. I love these. My grandmother labeled everything so perfectly. It's just fun to take things like that out that you never think you're ever going to use. Oh, look at this. Looks good. Kind of wish I had made it a little more uniform, but I think this will rise a little bit more because it's going to take us a little while to get all the decorations on. You can use all kinds of things for this. You just use your own imagination. I like to kind of start with all the wispy greens. I like to shave some zucchini and then cut it in strips again. There's some chives. I like to press these down really close to the dough because then we're going to put some more olive oil on these so they don't burn. And I feel like if they're raised up quite a bit, then they're going to burn. They won't taste very good. Okay, I really love the look of these shallots. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel this outer layer. And these shallots taste really good with this bread. I like to slice them very thin until I can find a piece that's really pretty like this. Let's put that there. On there. There we go. Here's another one we can just add over here. Make a little short piece. Also have some green onions. We might try that. Oh, these shallots are strong. Now for these multicolored tomatoes, I slice these very thin. Isn't this a pretty fall color? I'm going to take this off to make some room for more. Okay, since Halloween is coming up, I wanted to add a few more things, just for fun. This is a cooked sweet potato. I cooked it in an Instant Pot. I went ahead and cooked it because I just knew that it wasn't going to get done on top of this bread. This is hard to do with a great big knife. Should use a smaller one. Okay. Can just put him down here. Let's do it for fun. And now, guess what this is gonna be? Okay, here's our second spider. Let's see if we have room for it on the side over here. Let him be over this. Now I'm gonna attempt a cheese bat, but all I have is baby Swiss cheese. We'll try this. I've tried it before with American cheese. It turned black, which, you know, that's what you want, but it didn't just turn dark, it burned. So I'm gonna try this Swiss cheese. It's a little bit harder of a cheese. There's a stem here that doesn't have anything. I'll cut it this way maybe. Put one up here. I think we should spray it with some olive oil so all these vegetables don't burn. You're supposed to add some more olive oil to the top of the focaccia bread, even if you don't decorate it. So I think this is good. Maybe a little more on these onions. Okay, now we'll sprinkle it with some salt. Okay, now all we have to do is bake it at 425 for 20-25 minutes, but we're gonna keep an eye on it. Oh my goodness, y'all, look at this. It's so pretty. I'm gonna turn it around. Oh my goodness. It smells so good. How fun would that be to do this with kids? Or to just make it for a dinner party and watch people's faces when you bring it out. My cheese bat didn't really work, but that's okay. I think I want to add a little Parmesan cheese to it while it's still warm. I just have a feeling it would be really good. Melted Parmesan on here. I just love this, don't you? It's so pretty and it really tastes good with the onions and the olives. And I've got some cheese on there. You can really use just about any vegetable. And I think what you want to think about is that it's going to go in the oven at 425 for 40 minutes. So you don't want to put anything really delicate in there. You want to make sure to spray it with olive oil really well before you put it in the oven so it doesn't just burn. So if you wanted to use a carrot or something like that, I would cook that first because I don't think a carrot is going to get done in the oven. These tomatoes, they were perfect. I sliced them very thin. The zucchini was sliced very thin. You could sprinkle this with any kind of herb, fresh herbs. Rosemary would hold up well. I believe you could use sage, thyme, and like I said, just make sure you spray it with olive oil. The olives hold up really well and the little spiders look so cute. As I pointed out, the cheese didn't really work. I might experiment with some different cheeses. The American cheese totally burned and turned black. It wasn't all that edible. I'll show you a picture of it. You can use different colored tomatoes, different sized tomatoes. I didn't seed my tomatoes and it works out fine because they're small and I sliced them very thin. If you used a big tomato, you might want to go ahead and de-seed it and get rid of all the moisture, the extra moisture in the tomato. You can use different colored olives. I've seen where someone made an olive bee and they used different colors of olives, little strips, and they put those together and made a little bee. You can use cookie cutters like I did with the cheese. I used a bat for the cheese. I have a pumpkin cookie cutter, but I actually just cut that with a knife. These are shallots. I think you can use red onion as well. I think most of the time people do these for spring and they make a spring garden. I wanted this to kind of be fall. You can use any edible flour. I would just make sure before you actually eat the flour that it was treated organically and not sprayed with pesticides. You can use violas, pansies. That would be so pretty, especially in the spring. And of course, you don't have to have the flaked salt. You can just use some coarse salt or just plain salt if you have it. You can actually double this recipe and have the bread be in a full sheet pan. It would make, a really nice rectangle shape for you, and you can add a lot more things in it. I think just the main thing is to think about the oven temperature and how long it's going to be in there and how much you have on the bread, because it could burn or it could not cook. You just have to think about that and make sure that what you decorate it with, that it's edible and it's good and it tastes good. You want to make sure everything goes together. Those would be my only suggestions. It would just be so much fun to use your imagination and just create all kinds of things with this bread. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. And as always, I really hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I'll see you in the next video.